back over at the airplane today. I had taken off to go up to Lancaster a couple of days ago. I think it was Monday. Presidential TFR was still there, and I have made a reservation to go at 7, but I'm still learning with this process, apparently, because we couldn't go till 10. They weren't doing, TSA wasn't doing reservations at all. The one thing I'll caution folks is TSA used the words, they called me 4 times, by the way, because there was some confusion about the fact that the TFR was there, but they weren't doing screening. And they told me I could go. They said that. Fortunately, I have enough experience to question that, and fortunately I'm in a controlled field and I was able to talk to ground before I actually did win. So we avoided departing an uncontrolled field because TSA told me it was okay. What they meant to say was that there's no screening today, probably because Secret Service didn't want any, because Hangar 6 is over near where the president departed. And not only was there only 2 hours where you were held up between 8 and 10 a.m., not only that, but if I had to be screened, I'd be going over to where they were departing. So I'm pretty sure that's why they don't want that in place. So lesson learned, if there's a TFR that ends at 10 a.m., I'm not going to plan to leave until 10 a.m. And lesson learned, I won't be scheduling any more service on Monday or Friday, because you never know with this president, he's home all the time. Anyway, so I went up there to get the version 10.3, which is really the focus, or attempted to be the focus. That was my intent, was to make this the focus of the whole video. But there's a couple other things that have crept in. During that TFR departure, a friend of mine took a picture of my departure, and I noticed on the left engine a puff of smoke. Very brief, but there it was. And that's generally oil on the exhaust. So I pulled the nacelle off. Didn't find anything other than it looked like a slight leak around the oil dipstick shaft, but that could be spillage from checking it. But I noted a more heavily accumulated area right under the quick drain. And I'm going to pull this nacelle off now, as a matter of fact. And I put paper towels under it after the last flight, after it had cooled down. So I'm going to take a look under there. We're going to see if any has dripped out. Now, it might not be coming out until it's under pressure. This is an ongoing theory. It might wait until I do the run-up. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'll do the run-up, and then once I do the run-up, it takes what oil has accumulated on the cow and sprays it onto the exhaust. And then the exhaust doesn't get hot enough until I'm at 400 feet, and then I get the puff of smoke. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but it could be something different. So we're going to take a look. All right, it's important to get a bright enough flashlight to do this. I'll take you guys with me. Okay, so I'm not seeing any oil under the drain plug at all. There's nothing there. I'm looking through here. I see a little bit here, but I think you would have, oh, there's a pool of it right there. Look at that. And that pool of it is coming right from there. So it's either spillage that I put there, or that seal could be leaking. Or it also could be when it was filled. That seems to be an area where it is. And of course, where I see it exiting is right there on the, right there on the cow flap. So yeah, could well be that. Again, from this side, and I'm going to pull the other side off as well, and we'll take a look at that. But right now, it seems to be that that's the culprit. Now, before I go flying, I'm going to clean all that off, get all that out of there. And I am looking right here, and I'm seeing oil residue, what I believe is oil residue, right there. So it might be blowing off onto this and getting over on that exhaust. And that's what I'm seeing come puffing out there. At least that's what I'm hoping what it is. But hope isn't a solution. So everything else looks good here. I'm going to come back and clean that off. Let me go take the other nacelle off. Yeah, sit you there for a minute. And then what we're going to do, that's a much better flashlight for this, by the way. The exciting things I want to do today is see how well 10.3 is working. I had some of our Twin Comanche experts guiding me on their experiences with the 10.3 upgrade, and there's been a significant discussion on the forums about some issues that they had with it, particularly frequencies not being retained after a power cycle. I don't have that problem. At least I haven't had it yet. The one thing I'm looking at this morning is I had an oil change reminder in there. And that oil change reminder popped up, gave me a reminder on the way home, but when I looked at the timer, it wasn't there. So I'm hoping it's not a glitch where during the transition, I have a reminder that I can't address. So we'll see. I did a visual approach the other day for the first time, using the automation, although I was kind of busy because I had traffic and so forth, so I didn't fully enjoy that. I'm going to have somebody with me tomorrow, so I will do another one tomorrow, and I'll be able to look at what's going on. Okay, give you guys a look at what's going on here. Oh, I see a spot there and a spot there. Now I'm not sure what that is, but I don't think that's the oil issue. This is a new exhaust piece here. I don't see any obvious signs of leak over here, but I'm taking my family to Nashville in a month, and I don't play with light twins. We won't be at gross weight, but we'll be heavy. Last major event I had was the right engine. I broke an exhaust gasket. Not sure if you can see that or not, but I broke an exhaust gasket. So I check those every couple of flights. I'm checking the state of the exhaust hanger. I'm calling it a gasket, but it's in a hanger. And the hanger snapped, and the result of that hanger snapping on this left side was putting all the stress here, which just clearly broke that off. And the signal for me was the EGT dropped 500 degrees or 400 degrees, something like that. One more lesson learned. I determined on that flight that I could continue simply because the engine was running well, no asymmetric thrust, no other signs of issues. Now I know better. If I have an EGT drop, I'll think about an exhaust brake. So at any rate, yeah, because I blew hot air into here, but You can see a little discoloration inside, but it wasn't so hot that it melted the paint or anything. All right, cool. I think the left side is good. I think the right side is based on the dipstick. So that's what we're looking at. Let's see here. So I believe that based on what I see here, that the leak is around the dipstick. It's around the dipstick seal, that shaft. And what made me look at that, other than the fact that it might be obvious to all of you, is I once threw a 310 before I was rated multi-engine. I was in a 310, flew it down to North Carolina and back, and when we got back, all of the oil dumped. It had all blown into the cowl, and the pressure of the running engine kept it inside. And then what happened was, as soon as the engine shut down, it all poured onto the ramp. So, and when we looked at it, it was a broken dipstick shaft. So, you know, when you go through experiences like that, you remember. Anyway, so I think we'll clean the airplane up. I'm going to clean the cowl underneath and clean the oil dipstick itself. Make sure that the level is good. I know it is. I checked it before. And then we'll take off, and I think I'm going to mount a camera externally on the tie down of a left wing. Never done it before, so I'm going to give it a shot, and then I'll show you a picture of that once I do that.